Christina Routhier is the executive and artistic director of the Savannah College of Art and Design's Theater and Festivals, where she oversees the world's largest university-run film festival, the SCAD Savannah Film Festival. SCAD has long played a role in shaping filmmakers and future industry leaders, and the film festival is a major part of that. Christina has been with SCAD since 2000 and has been instrumental in positioning the festival as a key stop in the awards season circuit. Under her leadership, it has flourished, drawing filmmakers, industry insiders, and global audiences alike. And with the 2024 festival currently underway, there's no better time to chat with her. So, Christina, how's your season?
I would say the season right now is pretty crazy.
We're recording this a couple days before the festival starts, but it will air once the festival's underway. How are you feeling on the eve of the festival? Is this the calm before the storm, or is it already pretty stormy?
It's already stormy. We're just a few days away from the start of the film festival, so we are gearing up right now. All of my people that I work with are flying in, and we have guests that are starting to come in on Friday. So we're just extremely busy right now, but excited. We're all just excited to be here and love what we do. So we're happy to all be here ready to get this film festival started.
So you joined the festival in 2000 when it was only a few years old. Mm-hmm. What was the festival like when you started, and what kind of mandate or goals did you have coming in?
You know, President Wallace, the president and founder of SCAD, really wanted to bring the industry to the students here in Savannah. So she is the one that came up with the idea to start the SCAD Savannah Film Festival. So we credit her for this amazing whirlwind that we've been on since then. But basically, it was to bring film and industry professionals to Savannah and to SCAD to meet with our students. That was kind of the first mandate.
So in my job as both a festivals editor and an indie filmmaker in the early 2010s, I really saw festivals in terms of distribution and exhibition. But I would say now with my focus squarely in awards, I see festivals like SCAD being like hugely important in the awards race.
Yeah.
Was that a conscious decision by executive directors of festivals like yourself, or was this always the case and I just wasn't aware of it?
I think, originally from when we first started, we definitely wanted to bring a platform for emerging artists to showcase their work, showcase work from around the world, of course. So those are the kind of the baby steps we started with. But over the past 10 years, myself and my amazing, spectacular publicist at Scenario PR, Stephen Wilson, we did make a conscious effort to really dig down deep and start, positioning the festival as an award circuit festival. We spent a little over 10 years, actually, just building relationships with studios and networks and agencies and making the effort to really position the festival as one of the best.
What were some of the moves that you made to do that positioning?
I would say it was developing our relationships with the studios, first and foremost, to get the best films out there. Of course, that takes time. And, we made a conscious effort to go to LA and to New York and meet with studios on a regular basis, laying the foundation and bringing these people to Savannah so they could see the scope of the Savannah College of Art and Design, what we had to offer, and what the festival had to offer. And of course, we have found over the years that the city of Savannah plays such a big role in why people want to come, because everybody has this romantic vision of what Savannah is. And I can say that I think we exceed their expectations when they come here. So that played a big part too.
When you decided to have the festival make a push into the awards world, were there other festivals you looked at, either as models or to distinguish your festival from?
I think what makes our festival so much different than any other festival is our students. We have just an electric undercurrent of students that really come out. So the energy here is very young, it's very vibrant. So I can say personally, just from traveling to other festivals, that this is one of the reasons why we are so unique. And I didn't see a lot of that anywhere else, where the energy was so high and you're just surrounded by film lovers and artists. It makes such a huge difference. But, definitely festivals like Telluride and Sundance, we did look at those wonderful festivals to see what they were doing and how maybe we could implement some of their strategies into our festival. But I do feel like we really, built it up ourselves.
So when you were having those initial conversations, you said about 10 years ago with studios and agencies, what was the initial reception like? Were they used to having conversations with festivals about increasing their footprint at a place like Savannah?
I definitely feel like we did a lot of, I don't want to say the word was begging, but, definitely going into offices cold and pitching what we were in the festival. So, as that was fun, it was still very hard. I think the biggest thing that helped was inviting these people to Savannah. That's when it all started to turn. I would also say our relationship with the Hollywood Reporter and Scott Feinberg has been an enormous supporter of our festival for many, many years. And I remember being in an office with him in LA, and we were talking about, how can we grow our festival? And he really pitched the idea of bringing in more documentaries into the festival. That sometimes is the last, thing that awards journalists get to see because they're focused on so many other things. That wouldn't it be wonderful if we really, showcase the best documentaries of the year? And when we worked with him to develop that Docs to Watch series is what it's called now, which is 11 years old, that also changed the trajectory of the festival. We were seen as more, serious and respected, and that really helped as well.
So you mentioned Scott Feinberg, and I was just noticing that his prediction list is basically just like all the other prediction lists, essentially the Savannah lineup.
I'd hope so. That's our goal for sure, is to have the best films, the most talked about films of the year. So
when does this booking process start?
We usually start looking at films seriously, at least for our out of competition, in late May, early June. That's when we kind of start all the research and the watching of the films, and meeting with people usually starts in June. But we also have a competition series as well, where we, we're watching films all year round. So
I'd love to see your spreadsheet in like early June or July.
Exactly. It's a monster. And then it gets whittled down. And then, we're so lucky that we get to experience this and see all these amazing films. Obviously, I feel like I have the best job in the world, and I love every team member I have. And we hire a lot of alumni contractors after the festival and to work with us. And it just feels like a big family. And that's what I love. And SCAD feels that way too, to me. It feels like a big family with President Wallace as our, kind of head. And she really directs us in all the right ways.
That's great. So in that early process of looking at potential films for the festival, you're kind of getting a sense of what the award season is going to look like, probably well before a lot of people. How do you evaluate those films, in the summer before there's been a chance for awards, pundits to start weighing in or looking at the whole slate?
Yeah, I definitely lean on my team, because sometimes I really love something and they're just like, what? Or I'm like, that'll never go anywhere. And then it wins the Oscar. So I really do depend on my expert and teams. And publicist and I, Stephen Wilson, we travel to other festivals. So we're constantly watching films. My artistic director, Meg Weichman, she's traveling to festivals as well. So all of us are constantly watching films. So we gather after it's over and we go over what we loved and what we think we want the other person to see. So it just, it's a process for sure. And lucky that we have two huge historic theaters here at SCAD. They're actually almost right next to one another. So sometimes we get films sent here to our theaters, which that's what we really love. And, we all watch them together as a team. So I do rely on my team a lot.
When do you start speaking with distributors and studios about booking those films?
Usually kind of like the whole season kicks off right around Cannes in May. So lucky, we get to attend Cannes. So we get to see all of our distributor friends there. And so we're all eager to talk about what's coming up and what do you have and what could we go and see or what we should see. So it really kicks off, I would say, at Cannes and in May.
And has it become easier to get movies over the years as the festival has cemented its role?
Yes, I tell his stories all the time about having to cold pitch our festival in an office full of people and no one responds. And, it's definitely gotten easier over the years. Very lucky.
Can you think of any films in particular you really had to go the extra mile to convince to come to Savannah?
I've done a lot of begging, I feel like, over these years. A lot of, not begging, but convincing for the studios to give us a try and to come here and just see what our audiences are like and see what we have to offer. I think once they get here, every time they're totally like, what can we do together? I think it totally, changes everything once they come here one time. So that's our first request, just come. And then after that, it's, what can we do together?
Yeah, that's certainly the reputation that the festival has in the industry. And I have not been lucky enough to come myself, but my wife has been a number of times. And
I love your wife so much. She's like one of my most favorite people. So, and I tell her every time, she might not tell you, but I tell her to bring you down as well. Right. We'll put you on the jury next year.
I'm in. She'll be way too jealous though. So when you see these films go all the way and win major awards, do you ever personally feel like a little bit of pride that was a Savannah film?
Yeah, I do. I would say that even, for example, last year we honored Emerald Fennell and she came with Saltburn. And watching that film with our audience you could just hear the laughter and the oohs and the ahs coming from the street. People were just, it won our audience award. So, and Emerald was just like, this is so amazing to see this with this audience. And so when it goes the extra mile, I do feel like, wow, I'm really, honored to have been just maybe a little piece of that.
So Savannah is also known for hosting some of the best panels and discussions in the industry. How much of this is driven by the festival's connection to the college and being a festival that's really focused on education?
I would say 100%. That is our overarching goal and directive. I think it's extremely important to us that we showcase more than just we love, of course, love the actors and the films, but we are dedicated to bringing the best industry professionals to the festival. We have over 100 degree programs at SCAD. So I'm constantly trying to match who we bring in with a degree program. And that could be anything from production design to costume design to editing. So my goal is to try to bring the best of the industry to do panels, to do workshops, to do master classes. Sometimes we even do exhibits with costume designers. So that is a very strong directive and goal for us, is to do that.
Every year we see the stats about SCAD alumni contributing to Academy-nominated films. Do you feel pressure to help SCAD students reach success in the film industry?
I would say SCAD as an institution prepares talented students for the real world. So we are always preparing our students for their careers. And I think that's one of the things that SCAD does best. So when we see them succeeding in animation or film or even fibers, we feel like that we've really sent them out into the world with a great foundation to have a fantastic career. And we also have students that come back and mentor or come back and have exhibits. So we're always trying to find a way to showcase our students.
How has Atlanta's rise as a major production hub affected the path to industry success for SCAD students?
I think that students are graduating and staying in Georgia, and that's really amazing and wonderful. I think the industry in Atlanta is booming. So our students are working while they're still in school and they're getting real world experience. And also in Savannah, our students here are also working on major film productions while they're in school. That is just a one of a kind experience you can't get anywhere else.
Have you had any success stories of students coming back with projects for the festival in later years?
Yes, definitely have had a lot. We actually showcase our alumni quite often. This year, we have 3 alumni from DreamWorks coming in to do a panel. So we're very proud and excited for them. We do an entire panel of just alumni in the industry as well. We have our alumni come and bring films back to our festival and competition, Or we have tons of alumni, obviously, that are working in the industry that are part of, award-winning films that we showcase all year round. So extremely proud of our students.
With such a successful festival on your hands, how do you look forward at future years? What are your goals for the next evolution of the festival?
I think that President Wallace is always asking us, what is next? What can we do that's better next year? How can we make it bigger, better, a better experience for our students? She's always pushing us to the next level. So we welcome about 70,000 people over 8 days. And, we're so lucky to have our gorgeous theaters. And of course, SCAD has space all over downtown Savannah for us to host panels and workshops and master classes. So I don't know, unless we expand the festival, I'm not sure.
So bringing it back to this year's festival, this might be a little bit like asking you to choose a favorite child, but is there anything you're particularly excited about for this year's lineup?
I am excited for opening and closing night films, which is Blitz and Maria. Amelia Perez is absolutely fantastic. I'm excited about that as well. And you cannot miss the Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley Substance. So that one will really stick in your head.
Maybe this is just as hard of a question, but what are your favorite recommendations for places to eat and drink in town when people come for the festival?
I would say our favorite places is always the Gray, which is the Savannah, that's the place everybody wants to go when they come to Savannah. We have a restaurant that's famous that's right next to our theaters called the Old Pink House. Always a delicious Southern treat. SCAD actually owns a tea room, which is absolutely delicious, the Griffin Tea Room. So we go there a lot. Lots of great places all over downtown Savannah, which is a walking city. So there's restaurants and bars and places everywhere to go.
Sounds great. We like to end every interview with a lightning round here, just some quick questions, quick answers. What is your favorite award show to attend or watch?
I would say I always watch the Academy Awards. It's a tradition.
Do you prefer Emmy season or Oscar season?
Oh, that's tough. I would say Oscar season.
Other than SCAD, what's your favorite film festival to attend?
I love Telluride, and I always love going to Cannes as well. How could you miss with those two? Those are two of the best.
We usually ask about our guests' post-award season ritual, but I'll ask you, what's your post-festival ritual?
I would say my post-festival ritual is probably staying in bed, watching the BBC miniseries of Pride and Prejudice, and turning my brain completely off.
That's a great one. Would you be more likely to cry or swear during an acceptance speech?
Cry, for sure.
What is your favorite past appetizer at a screening or a festival reception?
Champagne.
All right. And final question. What is one unreasonably early award season prediction that you're willing to make?
I would say that Amelia Perez will be Oscar nominated.
Wonderful. Christina Routhier, thank you so much for your time. This was a really wonderful discussion.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time.